All right, so it's Yvonne Halling here from bedandbreakfastcoach.com, and today I'm with the lovely June Hershberger from the Deheimat Country Inn in Iowa. June, welcome. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Okay, well, as Yvonne said, I'm June Hershberger. Mark and I are the innkeepers, the owners here at Deheimat Country Inn in the Amana Colonies in Iowa. We've been doing this for 5 years, and before this, I was a teacher and administrator. Mark was an engineer, so I think between the two of us, we always felt like we had the components or the gifts that it takes to do this, and so we're celebrating our 5-year anniversary this year. And we're kind of surprised that we're at this place, but we're happy to be here.
Okay. So, June, what was life like before you started to work with us?
Well, I think we worked very hard the last 5 years. I think we worked our tails off, really. Mark and I didn't know what we were doing when we came, but we threw our hearts into this. He's the one that fixes up the building. I do the marketing and the PR, and I think we were doing quite well because we had given it so much effort. But I never knew really what my marketing dollars were doing. You spend so much money on marketing of various sorts, and you can measure some of it and some of it you can't. And I was actually working with a marketing person who wasn't a bed and breakfast specialist. She was a generalist. So she gave me some help, but I never felt like she really understood this business. So I guess when I'm always looking for new things, and I'm always curious and wanting to learn. So when I came across Yvonne on Facebook, I think it was, and listened to some of your videos and things, I was really interested. And then I'm sort of the brave type, and I just called her up and said, let's chat. And one of her questions to me was, well, so you're kind of at the place where you don't know what to do differently. And that was really where I was at. I wouldn't say I was totally frustrated, but I didn't know what to do different to kind of take us to the next level. So this has been really that, taking us to the next level in a way that I couldn't have imagined before.
All right. So how are you feeling when you said yes, I'm going to do this, I want to work with you? How are you feeling at that point?
You mean after I said yes?
Yes.
Well, I was ready to give it my all. I do really put 100% behind. I learned something new. So yeah, it is a little overwhelming. I remember at first being on the calls with the other people, and it's like, oh, I had no idea what they were talking about. And, you feel kind of left behind, like, will I ever catch up? Will I really know what they're talking about? But it was a very supportive group. And so I did what I was supposed to, I think, and I worked hard on it. But yeah, it was overwhelming, but I always felt the support along the way. Yvonne was always willing to talk at any time about any silly little question. So I guess that's how I was feeling at the beginning, soon after I said yes.
All right. So what did you do when you joined the program? You said yes, and you jumped in. So what did you do, June?
Well, I think there's kind of two things. There's the technical side of trying to think of offers for your guests and, becoming an expert on your area. But there's also the side of your own personal development, which I think for me has been just as important as anything in this program. You learn the same lessons over and over in life, sometimes just in different settings, it seems like. And I know that my default when I'm in a new situation is to take on too much, to try to make it work for everybody else. And, I know that that's not good, but in this whole setting, we had kind of lost sight of that, or I had lost sight of that. So I think some of the things that I've done really early on that were easy to do was, we hired more staff so that we weren't working so hard. And we actually had the staff, but we gave them more hours. And we did hire a new person. Since working with you, I've hired a new person. So, yeah, I guess just realizing that I don't have to do everything is a great relief. And so tightening those boundaries was really important for me. Learning to do something for myself every day. And I can't say that I always do that perfectly, but that is my goal, and that's what I'm working toward. So I think at the attitude, I feel so much more free, is one word I would use, relaxed, you know, you lose some of that resentment when you have the boundaries tightened, when you say, okay, this is our check-in time, and that's what it is. We'll be here for you during those hours, but otherwise, we're not here to check you in. So that's what some of those personal things I think are what has made me feel really, really good, as well as the offers. I mean, I know revenue is always the bottom line, and we have increased revenue this year, and with the offers, we've brought in a lot of room nights that we wouldn't have otherwise. So those are some of the things that come to mind that we've worked on in the last few months, 6 months.
What's been different about your experience from working with us as opposed to working with other people?
Well, I think specifically because you know bed and breakfasts inside out. You've had your own experience, and you know exactly what we're going through, what the business side of things is. You've had you've gone through your own struggles and come out on the other side learning so much, and then you share that with us, and you share it in such a step-by-step way that makes it really accessible, and you take out the overwhelmingness of it. So I think, yeah, it's the step-by-step process as well as understanding the business. I've never found that anywhere else.
And so what have been your results, June, overall? What have been your results from working with us over the past 6 months or so?
Well, I was just figuring the other day that our revenue is up 28% this year over last year from year to date, so up to June 1st. So that's pretty amazing. And part of that has to do with some of the offers we had. I figured out one of the offers brought in 30 room nights, and another one was 24 room nights. And that's not counting our Valentine's Day special, which I already had in the works, but that was a very successful weekend based on some of the things I learned in this program. And I'm running an offer now. So I would say I think our year looks really good financially, as well as we're just different people, or I'm a different person going into the season and feeling, more relaxed with guests. And like you say, when you focus on getting the guests that you want, it feels really nice just to let the others go and not have any qualms about not pleasing everybody anymore. So I think, while the revenue is fantastic, I feel even better about the way that I feel about being in this business.
Wonderful. 28%, that's amazing, isn't it? But as you say, it's not really about the money, is it? It's about enjoying life and enjoying what you're doing, and that's priceless, isn't it?
That's very true. It's a good way to say it.
So if for anybody watching this video now and looking at you and hearing what you're saying, what would you, and thinking about working with us, what would you say to them, June?
Well, I would say really explore it, and if you're willing to do the work, if you're willing to put in the time and the energy, the effort, you will find results. I think always when you have a program like this, the upfront investment is a little bit overwhelming. It's like, oh, wow, can I really afford that? But I found that you get that back very quickly. So, don't worry so much about that. That was one of our concerns. But I think it's worth it. It's worth that because, you get the money back, plus you get so much more. So I think don't wait and just kind of stew in your hard work and resentment for years and years. Make the change now because it's going to get so much better, much more quickly than you can imagine.
Don't stew in your hard work and resentment. That's that's amazing. But it's so true because so many people do, don't they? Some people do that for years and years and years, and then pretend that it's not happening. Pretend they don't have the resentment, and pretend that that the hard work is going to pay off, and it's going to pay off, and it never does it? In that way, it never does.
Right.
And it's just
thinking you can do it all yourself to save money is really very counterproductive. But I had to get over that too.
I think we all do. I think we all. I know I did. I had to get over that, and it's difficult, isn't it? Because we're kind of hardwired. We're kind of hardwired to work hard, and the harder we work, the better person we are. somehow. And so, yeah, and so you can't, there's a kind of counterintuitive leap into somebody that you don't want to be, which is somebody who doesn't work hard, because we're hardwired to work hard. And so this,
right. It's like we have to prove our worth or something. And yeah, when you can get to the place where you realize it's not proving anything to anybody to do it that way.
No,
and it's no fun. Yeah.
No, it's no fun at all, is it? No.
Right. Right.
June, thank you so much. That's very inspiring. I'm so happy that you've got the results that you've got and the way you feel and everything. It's my pleasure to be working with you, and thank you so much for inspiring other people.
Well, thank you. Thank you for all you've done for me.
You're welcome.